Hey, me and everybody else.
Welcome back to the Founder Academy. I'm Mark, the FUT founder, and
I'm Julie, the FUT babe.
on TikTok.
Yep.
Not on YouTube yet.
No, not yet.
Not
but on
yet.
TikTok for now.
On TikTok. Okay, so what we're going to do is the first 10 minutes or so, I'm just going to give you guys a quick update as to what the hell you guys are watching. We've had a really busy week in terms of SBCs and stuff like that. And then Julie, the FUT babe, is going to come back and she is going to open up our 84 plus by 25 pack, which is from the Tots Swaps. I always get that mixed up. I always get confused when I'm trying to say that. It's like a tongue twister for me. But she is going to open up the pack because I'm too nervous to open it up myself. It's such a long grind, and maybe she's got better luck, right?
Okay.
You're luckier than I am, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So she's going to come back, okay, because she's doing work and stuff like that, so we're not going to bore her with all this stuff. Okay, so what you guys are seeing here, it's just all of our updates. I know some of you are probably going to skip through, but those of you that are loyal to the channel, you're going to care about all the things that we're doing here. So we did a ton of SBCs this past week just because there's so much content going out and there's nothing else to put them in. Plus, I did some of the SBCs because there were some really cool objectives, and I kind of, in the last week, just developed an interest in building a Serie A squad. So we started off with our League Tots upgrade, the guaranteed one. So literally it was the last week. We got Klaus, who we've packed multiple times, and we actually have his red. It's one of the only reds we have in our club. We did the Maxime objective, so he was just going to be fodder that went into this. Pellegrini was going to be used for our Serie A objectives, and this card's actually really good, guys. I highly recommend him. He doesn't look like a whole lot, but he actually links with a ton of stuff, and he's really good box-to-box mid. He scored some real bangers for us when we were doing the Eto'o Martinez SBC, so I highly recommend that. Maxi Morales, this is another kind of emotional one for me because I end up doing an MLS squad throughout the course of the year. I always end up building other teams, like Eredivisie teams and Liga NOS teams and stuff like that. And then when an SBC comes out, I end up getting really cheap, and I just dump them all into an SBC. But MLS is one that I keep throughout the course of the year, so I still have all the squad foundation ones from earlier in the year, and they actually had a really good core for my team. And now that team of the season MLS was out, I actually was able to pack some of them, and I was able to do some of the SBCs and objectives, and the team is actually looking really cool. So Maxi Morales is a must-have if you're building an MLS team. He's a little water bug out there just buzzing around. He's not very tall, he's not very strong, but those stats are actually very misleading. He's one of the best dribblers. He feels like Messi on the ball, of course without the shooting and the passing traits, but still very, very good. And then that Castellanos up top, very, very awesome card. Lois Openda, I don't know anything about this guy. He was just the Eredivisie, I think Eredivisie Player of the Month. We had a bunch of fodder, dumped him into this Openda SBC. I don't probably intend on really using him unless there's an Eredivisie objective or something, which there probably is going to be if they do another icon swaps late in the year. So he's got 99, I think it's 99.99 in terms of acceleration pace. There we go. I knew me, and I knew I'd need a point of reference there. So he's got maxed out acceleration. So he'll be a really good sweat card for doing offline objectives. Maxime Lopez was another guy that was super vital in our Serie A. What would we do? Our Serie A objective, or Eto'o Martinez objective. So Serie A was the obviously you had to build a Serie A squad, but it was tough because you had to have one guy from every club, or not every single club, but you had to have 11 different clubs in the squad, and that was really tough to do because I didn't realize that when I was building it, and then I had to go out and get this guy because I needed just more high-rated cards from clubs other than AC Milan or Inter Milan. There weren't really a whole lot of Juventus cards, which I don't even remember the name of, Piemonte Calcio or whatever it's called in here, because they don't have the license, which I think is coming back from what I hear. It's coming back for FIFA 13. I might be right, might be wrong on that. I'm not too sure, but the only guy that I wanted was Dybala, and it's funny because this past week I was thinking so much about do I want to sell stuff to get Dybala, but I'd either have to sell Messi or sell the entire rest of my high-rated cards like Marquinhos and Tchouameni and Modric, and I still wouldn't even be close. I'd basically have to sell everything tradable or sell Messi, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So I'm hoping that I'll eventually get a Dybala, or that I'll release an SBC on Dybala later for this end-of-era stuff, and next thing you know, that team of the season one either just drops to the floor, or I can just do the SBC. Speaking of SBCs, we did Cristiano Ronaldo. We had some really high-rated stuff, and I was like, I kind of want Ronaldo. I've used his inform earlier in the year. I wouldn't use him like online unless it was coming off the bench as a super sub or something like that. He actually was a little bit more expensive than I think, but it's still relatively cheap for what you're getting. Still a fantastic card. Still Ronaldo. Regardless of how old he gets and how slow he gets, like he's still super rapid in this game, and he's still just like a cheat code. Tonali. Again, another one for the Serie A SBC, just because we didn't have any other AC Milan players at the time, and I just could do him for relatively cheap, so he was another vital part of that. This card obviously not as good as his Team of the Season one. The Team of the Season one I just didn't want to dump 300k into, so this was a really cheap alternative, as you guys can see, pretty well rounded, but behind the power curve now. These Player of the Month cards, like if they're not like a really super high rated player, like I can't even remember the name of the guy from the La Liga one, but he was just totally unusable. So the only reason I would even do him is if I just had like so many untradables and I just had nothing else to put him into. But like I would not bother even looking at that guy because he had like 71 pace or something like that. We actually got to level 30 rewards. So the new season just started either, I think it was on Thursday, so 2 days ago, or yesterday, sorry, because it's Friday today. We finished the last season like about 2 days before the end of this, so we ended up going with João Mario. Gary Cahill I just had no interest in, and the Dutch player I had the other striker who was very similar. He might even have been a right mid, but I don't know. With the Eredivisie guys, I've been slowly kind of dismantling that team to use them for some of the SBCs that require Team of the Seasons. So I had a pretty good little La Liga or Liga NOS team, so I'm like, I might as well just take João Mario. He actually looks like a decent little offline card. And again, if they do icon swaps, we can throw João Mario into that team because Liga NOS is always a part of it. Eredivisie is always a part of it, so you could really go either way with both of them. Again, another card here for the Serie A squad that we built, Gerard Deulofeu. Not a huge fan of this guy. He's never really been great in FIFA. He's always been kind of a sweat monster that people like because he's strong and he's fast, but I find him to just be not great for me because I'm a big left stick dribbler and I don't find him to be super agile. He was better in older FIFAs for like guys that are just not super skilled and just dump the ball down the wing and just like fly down the wing with them, and he's still kind of good for that. But again, with this FIFA, because guys are so much better at like understanding tactics and like strategy, I don't find that Deulofeu really fits the bill. He's not a good enough shooter. He's not a good enough passer or dribbler. He's just a thick body that can just bomb up and down the wings. Zalarian, this card was really underrated, actually. I was really happy to get him for the MLS squad, and he is very, very good. I highly recommend doing that. I don't know if the objective's still available for you to do, but if you can power through this one, he was a really, really good card. He's got very good... He's got like a good build. Like I know I think he's just like an average build, but he's got like good strength to him, and he's got really good, dribbling stats. His passing, you guys know my opinion on that. Passing's very overrated, but you throw on like a catalyst or something like that, and max out his pace and his passing, and then you've already got the dribbling. His shooting is good enough to work with from the midfield, and you got yourself a really good center midfielder. We did MLS TOTS upgrade. I can't believe how many SBCs. This is just 1 week, guys. Like, this is going on 8 minutes now, and it's like literally just rolling through the SBCs that we've done here. We did our MLS TOTS player pack. We had a pretty well-rounded team here, and I don't think anything was really untradeable that we had, so I was really happy getting just about anybody. We already had a left back, that Wagner, or whatever, the German guy who plays for... I think it's Inter Miami, so he was already at left back. So Bravo we didn't really necessarily need, but again, we didn't really need anybody. I was hoping we'd get Castellanos, then I could sell my tradable version, but this guy is actually going to replace Wagner just because Wagner's defense wasn't fantastic. He was okay, but I felt like he made a lot of mistakes. Guys would kind of bounce off of him. He was a big, strong body, but he also wasn't super agile. So Bravo was going to come into the team. This Goodwin, actually... I think I already threw him into an SBC, but he was an interesting card. We just did this because it had one of those tokens in it. But 93 rated guy. Look at his dribbling stats are fantastic. His passing and shooting are very average, but you throw a Deadeye on him, he's already got maxed out pace. So really cool card if you wanted to bring him on as a super sub. I bet he'd be really fun to play with. And then this was our Serie A, it wasn't the Serie A like objective, it was the Lautaro Martinez. We did it in 10 straight games, actually. I was really happy with it. We built a team that was good. It wasn't fantastic, but it was really, really good. The guy that was actually the real star of that team was Di Natale. I picked up the Di Natale hero card, which is like obviously like renowned for earlier on in FIFA, but he was fantastic in this. He was only 30k and he scored almost every single one of my goals. I actually had to like really push for the midfielders to score goals later on. But this Lautaro Martinez card, I was kind of like, I'm not going to do him, and I was trying to convince myself not to do it. And then one night I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just power through this. And 10 straight games was all I needed. Not a flex there, but we got a little lucky with some of the results. I was really proud of the team. They played really good, and we came up against a couple sweats, like 2 or 3, but the rest of them were really quick. I think we had 2 rage quits, but the rest of the games were pretty simple. Like, guys were using some very average teams. We had some guys quit out at 0 and 0-0 for like whatever reason. They just saw our team, but again, our team wasn't even that good. It wasn't like I had like a ton of high-rated guys in it. I think the best card we had in the entire team was Di Natale. And he's 30k. So we ended up getting a tradable Maignan. A tradable Maignan. Or an untradeable Maignan. I bought Maignan for the team after because you couldn't use more than one AC Milan player, and then we ended up packing him untradeable, so it was nice because I could sell the tradable version. And then this is the last SBC before we get into our pack, and this is going to be our guaranteed Serie A team of the season player. So I was looking forward to this. They released it a day late for whatever reason. Community was up in arms, including myself. I was like thinking that they were just going to sneak this out without releasing this thing, but they finally did. And of course, very lackluster. We get Calhanoglu. Didn't really care too much, but we had a tradable version of him, so we could flip that and sell that. So that's going to be the end of that. Let's get into the live. And babe, you want to open my pack?
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, guys, so we are back. So we thought we were recording this. Well, I thought we were recording this, so that was my mistake. And we actually ended up opening the pack, reacting to it, and then realizing that it was not recording. So super sick. What you guys are actually seeing is the end of, or just basically us opening up the pack, and we will kind of talk about what we ended up getting here. She also learned a lot about SBCs and how to move players around and stuff like that. So this is probably better because you're actually getting just like a cut and dry version of it, and we don't have to sit here explaining all the buttons that you guys have already learned, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we had 16 tokens. We used 15 on the 84 by 25. This was the pack. She opened it. She had better luck than I did because I knew that if I opened it, I was going to get jack all, and we ended up getting this. So I had my eyes closed here.
Yeah. And I explained that it was blue.
A GK.
Yeah, and a GK.
And then I asked her to tell me who the name was.
Magnon.
Magnon, I think. I think it's Magnon.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you call him?
Magnon. It's French, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magnon.
Magnon.
Magnan. I've heard so many different pronunciations of this, so we're obviously very disappointed. Well, I was disappointed. She could probably care less, but I was just like,
we already have him.
Because I have seen so many guys pack. I saw someone pack a Cristiano Ronaldo team of the season. I saw, I saw the guy pack 2 really high rated players. I saw someone get Kevin De Bruyne. I was just expecting somebody. So, I mean, the good news is that we ended up getting somebody from the Team of the Season Ultimate Tots. However, the problem is we didn't get anybody good. We already have Maignan. We just talked about him. We had him tradable that I bought. So now we have an untradeable version, and now we have a second untradeable version. The good news is that he can just go right into the Angel Di Maria SBC. We also got, I think it's Jack Price, so that guy from Colorado there. So we have a tradable version of him too that we bought off the market for our MLS team. So he'll go right in and we can sell our tradable version. And then we got 2 other guys that I don't know who they are, Ivy Lopez and some other dude who I've never heard of. So a couple TOTS players that actually can go into SBC, so that'll be good because they're now just putting out so much stuff that requires TOTS to basically go in almost every SBC, and they're going to continue to release high-rated SBCs because they want to just coin sync everything back into them. So we needed a couple because we were getting pretty low on TOTS players, and they are pretty affordable. We do have some coins in the club. We got about 500,000. We got 554, so we could technically buy them, but I really don't want to have to. I'd rather just use some of these guys that we don't care about that are untradeable, so it kind of filled up the club. We also were getting a little bit low on fodder, So now we just filled up the club with fodder. So that's the good news. The bad news is we didn't get any high-rated guys. So nobody like north of 1 million or anybody good like that. But hopefully we have a better week this week and we can actually get some good cards. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. None of these mean anything to me.
That's fair. And that's basically what I thought when I saw the pack. So that's going to be the end of it. We're going to do the Cesc Fabregas objective this week. We'll do the Di Maria SVC as well, even though he's a snake and we hate his guts. But that's okay. We'll throw him into the club coming off the bench. But that is going to be the end of the episode, guys. Appreciate you sticking with us to the very end. For me, the FUT founder, and
Julie, the FUT babe on TikTok.
On TikTok. There you go. Follow her on TikTok, guys. That's going to be the end of the episode. Until next time, take care. Peace.